This outline shader by Matharoo for GameMaker is awesome, and it's free. In this video, I'll show you how to use it. If you don't know who Matharoo is, he's the lead tech writer at GameMaker. He's from India. He's super cool, really smart, and has been using GameMaker for a long time. I believe he's responsible for updating the GameMaker Manual, which, by the way, if you haven't used as a resource, it's a must. He also writes really good blogs on the GameMaker website and creates tutorials. He also has a really cool YouTube channel called GameMaker Station. Check it out. All of his resources and links will be in the description below. This is one of the games I'm currently working on. I consider myself a pretty good programmer, but I don't know how to write shaders yet. I needed an outline shader, so when the player gets close to items that you can pick up, it signifies that with this outline. You press Y to pick it up, and then you can set it back down. Also, when you get really close to one of the other players, he'll be outlined in yellow, signifying that you can have him imitate your moves by pressing B. Let's get this shader into your game and let's make it work. Make sure you're logged in and then hit the download for Studio 2 button. Then all you have to do is drag the .yyMP file into your project. Click yes to import asset package. Then click add all, then click import. If you go over to your shaders folder, you'll see another folder, outline shader. In here's the actual shader. You don't really have to worry about this at all, but it is a good resource to study it later once you want to learn how to create shaders yourself. In the scripts folder, you're now going to see an outline shader folder with 5 scripts. Matharoo made this shader so easy to use. The documentation script tells you how to use it. For whatever object you want to use the outline shader on, you simply call outline init in the create event. Then in the draw event, you call outline start, which has 5 arguments, and the first 2 are required: the thickness in pixels and the color of the outline. The 3 optional arguments you probably won't need, but if you do, read the documentation and it's pretty easy to set up. You can also draw outlines around surfaces, which I'm going to show you soon. Matharoo even provided an outline end function to call at the end of your draw event, which simply calls shader reset. He really did make this shader so easy to use. Now this is super important. The sprite needs to have empty space around the image for the outline to be drawn. So if you have a sprite that looks like this, it's not going to work. You need at least 1 pixel around the edges. And if you want your outline to be thicker, make sure you leave a lot of extra space. So here's how you can do that. Select your sprite in the asset browser. Then under properties, select resize sprite. Select resize canvas. If your sprite's origin point is at the middle center, keep the default middle circle selected. Otherwise, you may need to click one of these arrows. For this example, I'm going to add 2 pixels on every side of the sprite. This will allow for an outline thickness of 1 to 2 pixels. If you want a thicker outline, make sure you increase these numbers. It's a good idea to add multiples of 2 here. So I'm going to change the width and height to 20. Hit apply, and now you'll see that the sprite has 2 extra pixels on every side. This allows room for the shader to draw the outline. This next step is crucial. In your texture groups, you have to make sure that any of the sprites you want to use this shader on have automatically crop disabled. Just go to Tools, Texture Groups, and then click Add New. Call this something like Outline No Crop. Then go back to your default folder and find the sprites that you want to use the shader on. Right click it and select Move to Outline No Crop. Now when you go back to that group, you'll see that it's in there. Lastly, make sure that automatically crop is unchecked. Some of the reviews for this shader on the website complain that they see an outline in left and right but not up and down. I have a big empty space around the sprite. That's probably because they didn't follow the last step and modify the texture groups. Some people say that the outline shader will also blink if the sprite has multiple frames. I'll show you why that might be happening and how to fix it. First step, in the create event, call outline init. Then in the draw event, call outline start. For this example, I want my outline to be 1 pixel thick, and we'll make the color purple. Then call draw self, then call outline end. And there you go. Now my light bulb is outlined in purple, 1 pixel thick. The draw event for the light bulb in my game is actually a little more complicated than what I just showed you, because I needed to apply 2 shaders to the light bulb, one to make the light bulb glow, and one for the outline shader. So I had to draw the light bulb to a surface and apply the gamma shader. Then I had to apply the outline shader to the surface. Which, keep in mind, if you do use the outline shader for a surface, the 3rd argument is required, and that's simply passing in the surface ID. I also have some logic in here so the outline only appears when the player is close to it. If you draw the sprite with any other draw function besides draw self, such as draw sprite, make sure the instance variable image index is used in the second argument. Initially, I had a tertiary operator in the second argument that drew sub image 0 or 1 depending on if the object was activated. Just make sure you set the image index variable and then use that as the second argument in draw sprite. If you run into any problems while trying to use this shader or you have a question, put it in the comments and I'll help you out. Thanks, Matharoo. You rock.